These are 10 of the rarest conditions in the world and the stories of the people and families living with them. Did you know that there are conditions that both cause bones to disappear and muscles to turn to bone? But what is it like to live with one of the rarest conditions on Earth?
You can't leave your heart at home, but I possibly could.
The feeling of being attached to someone else is weird.
And what are these rare conditions that have puzzled doctors and turned people's lives upside down?
3, 1, go!
Come with us as we show you some of the incredible stories about people who, despite being dealt a difficult hand at birth, are making their way through life in inspiring ways.
The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up.
A lot of people push things into the future like, oh, I'll get to it eventually, like I'll learn to do this eventually. But for me, it's like, if I want to learn to do something, like now's the time to do it, and I do it now.
Starting with Levi, his condition is so rare that there are only 30 cases of it worldwide.
I'm Levi Christophic and I'm 1 in a million. My age is 11. I am 36 inches, something around there. 38 inches. My condition is James's medical conjoined dysplasia. Hopefully I said that right.
There's about 30 known cases worldwide. There's 5 genetically confirmed cases in America. It's a very rare form of dwarfism. The body does not process calcium like it should. The bones get bendy and grow crooked. We call them wonky bones. He wears these safety goggles to protect his left eye. He has optic nerve atrophy. We take Levi to see many different specialists. We see about 8 different specialists.
Hi, Levi. Hi. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You brought your mother along this time?
I always bring her along.
You didn't fly up by yourself this time?
No.
When I was first given the diagnosis that Levi had Jansen's metaphyseal chondrodysplasia, the doctor came into the hospital room and said, I need you to sit down. And he sat me down and he told me that Levi had Jansen's. And at first I said, are you sure? Because we had had several misdiagnoses. And he said, yes, we're sure. It's been genetically confirmed by a blood sample. And I was relieved to have knowledge of what he had. But then it made me sad because the more that the doctor explained what was going to happen, it was hard. It sounded very painful, and I just knew at that moment that I was going to do everything I could for him to get the best quality of life for him.
So, how's it going?
Good.
Any problems?
Not lately, no.
I've known Levi for 8 years. I first met him when he was 3. Levi has several problems. The most obvious ones are his height.
41 inches.
And that won't have much of an impact on his life. But he has a scoliosis, which is a curve in the back, and that can potentially cause a lot of issues and will likely need to be surgically treated at some point. The most obvious deformities in his legs, okay, you ready? Go. Will be managed probably until he's fully grown. So you're running pretty well too, really fast. Awesome. Good work. Good work. Let's go back in here. So you know what? I think your legs are looking pretty good. Do you think you can manage wearing a brace for a while? Give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If his back was straight, would it help the leg? Or
No.
I'm just wondering, do I wear it every night and every day?
Yes. Yes, we'd like you to. Yes.
I know I'm worried about.
Every once in a while, probably take it off to
Yeah, you
little
can
break.
it'll run around or go swimming or play with your friends. Absolutely. You don't have to wear it then.
When I see Dr. McKenzie, I sometimes have to do x-rays and other stuff. Like today, they had to do a mold for a back brace because my back is basically like a big S.
Okay, can I spin you this way so I can take a peek at your spine real fast?
He's not allowed to jump. He has to be very careful. He has neck instability, so a simple headlock could be catastrophic for him.
How it makes me different from the other kids at school is I can't play contact sports because of my neck and my back.
Levi's been known to get frustrated and upset. He tries to keep up with his peers, and he can't keep up. I mean, just his height can sometimes prevent him from keeping up with his friends.
Luckily, when I can't play, I'm used to it, so I'm like, okay, I'll just watch or whatever. Mostly my friends at school, they're like, okay, you can't do this. What else can we do? And we just think of something else that I can do.
All right, you think we're good?
I had a lot of questions. When we found out that Levi had Jansen's, I wanted to know what caused it. Was there a cure? And there's not a cure for Jansen's. Were there other cases? Were there other children that lived nearby?
I built it.
Why do you like playing together?
Because
It's fun, and he's just like us. We all have the same disease.
yeah. Good point.
It's called Jansen's. Jansen's metaphysical dysplasia.
Which they already know.
I'm Nina Nizar, and I'm the president of the Jansen's Foundation. When we realized that there was something wrong with the boys, we got on the internet. That's when I came across Donna's blog, and I remember clicking on the link, and the first picture that popped up was Levi. It was like I was looking at myself, I was looking at my kids. I knew immediately, even before we got the genetic diagnosis, that this was the condition that the boys had. When you have a condition so rare, it's really important for the kids to get together, and as the boys themselves say, we're like each other. So they play to each other's strengths and weaknesses. They know each other really well.
Levi has lots of things to look forward in life. I hope that he will be an extremely functional young man who will have a very successful life, but he will have challenges along the way.
My hopes for Levi in the future are that he grows up and he gets married, and I always joke and say I want him to graduate high school, go to college, and move out of my house one day. I want him to be a normal, happy, healthy kid. I want him to do as much as he can do. Levi, do you know why you're so special?
Yes, because of my rare disease, and there's only 5 genetically confirmed in America.
You're 1 in a million.
Yes, 1 in a million.
While so many of the rarest conditions make people look different on the outside, Lauren's only outwardly showing difference is a small bag she must carry with her everywhere she goes. And that handbag is vital to keep her alive.
I have a disease called pulmonary arterial hypertension, and I have a pump that pumps an experimental drug called remodulin into my body, and that is what is necessary for me to stay alive.
Pulmonary hypertension is a condition that narrows the arteries and vessels to the heart. Without treatment, this can lead to extremely high pulmonary pressures and result in heart failure.
There is not a cure. They can only make us feel better. They can never cure us. And some people even become immune to the drug as time goes on. So this drug doesn't work forever, and it doesn't work for everyone. I'm trying to push out all the air bubbles so that they don't get into the cassette. So I'm just connecting my tubing right now. So basically I'm just switching pumps to my new medication, and then I turn this pump on so that it's running. So this is just trying to get the fluid to fill up the tube so that there's no air in it.
There's something particular about Lauren. Although she's shy and quiet, she will say how she feels about things, but you have to pay attention because she'll only say it once. If you don't hear her the first time, you consider that opportunity gone. I try to listen to her very carefully now because what she has to say has a profound impact on me and everybody around her.
This pump is on, so this is good to go too. And then I just have to clean everything up.
This is a picture of Lauren's heart cath that she had, which says what her pressures are. And this is also like a picture of Lauren's central line where it goes into her chest and straight into her heart, right here. This is Lauren when she was just a little baby. She was always running around with her pearls on. Oh, Lauren. Pearls in a diaper. That was Lauren.
Lauren's father, Joe, also suffered from pulmonary hypertension. In 2010, he died at just 36 years old.
When I was little, I really didn't know there was much wrong with my dad because he was very resilient. He never seemed sick to anyone.
Joe was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension when he was 18. He never really let it get in the way of what he did. He found a way to adapt.
Could this be genetic? And they said, no, it's idiopathic. It happened it was his luck. So no, it never even crossed my mind until I started having symptoms and wondering what it was.
And luckily I had a great doctor that said, let's go check it out, and decided that she, in fact, needed a right-sided heart catheterization, and she was diagnosed. I was told that life expectancy, I was actually shocked by this, because I guess it's hard to hear, was 1 to 5 years. Without treatment, I was told 1 to 2, but she does have treatment. But I do think that that's a very individual thing for each patient. However, Lauren's been sick a really long time. She's been sick since she was a little girl, even though we didn't have her diagnosed. And I think that that's played quite a big toll on her body, not being oxygenated the way that it need to. So, I mean, I don't know what that's going to do for Lauren's life expectancy. I would hope to think that within her lifetime that we're going to find a cure and that it won't be like that.
And then typically you have to put the tube in a circle. It's kind of like a stress loop so that if it gets pulled on, it doesn't just kind of like rip out. I keep it in my purse all day long. Sometimes I take it off when I go to sleep. It depends how annoyed I am. But yeah, I usually roll up the tubing in my purse and just keep it there. People really don't notice if it's in my purse, so. I guess I'm not scared because I feel like there's going to be a time where I'm gonna need to be scared, and now's not that time. Like, I feel like I'm gonna know way beforehand before anything happens. But of course, that's naive and we never know what's gonna happen to us, but I feel like now's not the time to be scared for some reason. I can't control what happens to me, only how I respond to it. And so that's the best thing that I can do for myself, is be positive.
Being inspired by her nurses, Lauren applied to nursing school.
I'm going to nursing school and I'm interested in becoming a remodular nurse for other patients. One thing that happened was I was asleep and I woke up and it untwisted itself. And like I hit a part of my tube and it just dropped off. And so I knew it had become detached. Flicked on the light, looked in the mirror, saw that there was like blood all over my shirt. And from there, I got on FaceTime with my doctors. They told me what to do. That's actually happened to me twice. There is fear that if this happens again, that it could be worse, fatal, which is why I wanted my dog. Decided to get my service dog because I'm going to a dorm, I'm gonna be alone with all my medical equipment, and so I thought as a safety precaution I wanted a dog to wake me up. So that's why I got Ruby, it's because of that whole bleeding situation. And there's usually like a long waiting list. It's usually like 3 to 5 years, and then it costs you like $35,000. I have a trainer that trains me to train my dog. So that was the quickest way for me to get a service dog.
The total cost for Lauren's drugs is about $75,000 a month.
This is $15,000. I use about 4 of these a month. And then I have other oral drugs. This one is $10,000 a bottle. I'm not sure how many I use a month. I think 1 or 2. I'm very fortunate to have California Child Care Services that covers the medical costs right now. However, when I turn 21, that's kind of all up in the air. A lot of people get grants for their medications because insurance won't cover them.
It's so much money because it's a very rare disease, so the drug companies are not going to make a whole lot of money on it because they have a very small control group of people that they sell it to. They can get away with selling it for that much, and they do. In order to cure my daughters, you're going to have to find a cure for the genetic mutation, which takes research and funding. If there's a cure out there, I believe that she can walk through it and stand for that. So I think that she has that warrior spirit inside of her, just like her father did. I believe that she'll be at the forefront of research, clinical trials, and therapies. And I think she works really, really hard on accepting things. I mean, it's not perfect. You know, we all have our really bad days and our really down days about it. But I think on a whole, it's a strange thing to say, but I think she's embraced it.
Okay, go. A lot of people push things into the future like, oh, I'll get to it eventually, like I'll learn to do this eventually. But for me, it's like, if I want to learn to do something, like now's the time to do it, and I do it now. I think that's a great thing, because even if I live a long time, like then I would have done all these amazing things, right? Because I didn't do it without inhibitions. And I think everyone should live that way, not just people who may have a shorter lifespan. Because then we'd have awesome lives. Not being afraid of what people think of us would be great.
Not being afraid of what others think of him is something 22-year-old Zion has become expert in.
Being born without legs hasn't stopped me from doing the things that I want to do.
People just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs.
The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up. Your haters are your biggest fans, so use that to your advantage.
Zion was born with a rare condition, causing him to be born without legs. But that's not the only thing that makes Zion's story so unique.
I was born with caudal regression syndrome. It is a very rare disease. 1 out of every 100,000 kids are born with it each year. Caudal regression syndrome is a rare disease that can cause a number of abnormalities in the baby. Like, it can be you have a portion of your spine missing, or in my case, I was born without legs. I lived most of my life through foster care until about 16.
He came into my life when the caseworkers had reached out to me and said that they needed a placement for a young fellow. They bring Zion to my home some weeks later. Then it came to a point to where I just knew he was mine, and I just was so in love with him. And I approached him one day on the couch and I said, Zion, I know that I'm not your biological mother. And I asked him if I could get to be his mom. He said, yes, I want you to be my mom. I was like, well, let's do this. Let's do it.
The relationship with my mom is fantastic. She is the greatest woman I know, you know, and she wants what's best for me. She wants what's best for me and my sisters. She never once was gonna give up on me.
I mean, I was always a troubled kid during school, so I mean, any little thing would make me mad. I just got in trouble for punching lockers or just back talking to teachers, you know. Well, people just, they'd make fun of me because I didn't have legs, so they think I couldn't do something, or they'd be talking to me saying I wouldn't do something, and in turn I'd do it and get in trouble. But then after a while, I just got tired of it, so I'd stop reacting and I'd just let them talk, and eventually they started leaving me alone. School wasn't the greatest time for me, but by the time I was a senior, I was able to turn it around and get to college and start doing everything I wanted to do.
I started wrestling in 2nd grade. I could just go wrestle for a couple more hours, waste all my energy, and go home and just go to sleep. When I was really little, the first few matches, I didn't know what to do, and neither did my opponent. Some kids were scared to wrestle me. I was scared to wrestle them. I didn't know what I was doing. I adapted my wrestling by a lot of trial and error. I spent years figuring out what would work, what didn't work, and there's a lot of things that don't work, but the things that do work, drill them over and over and over again until they're completely flawless, until somebody might know I'm doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyways, whether they want me to or not. I train about twice a day, every single day, about 6 days a week. And it's an everyday thing, it's a grind, it's a lifestyle.
Zion was a very special athlete because he had perseverance and his determination was second to none. It was very easy for me to coach him with qualities like that. Very good takedown. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's get the breakdown. He has no legs, so he doesn't have any power for the bottom half of his body, which puts him at a grave disadvantage for wrestling. I noticed that because of his willingness to do the things that he needs to do to win, that I knew that we could come up with something to make him successful.
How proud am I, Zion? Give me a Z. Z, you got your Z, you got your Z. I am proud. I'm his #1 cheerleader. I told you I am the executive director of his fan club. I am very proud of him. How at first he was just so angry, but how he learned is each time to route that anger and to make it into something positive.
Being born without legs hasn't stopped me from doing the things that I want to do. The best way to deal with haters is to use the hate to lift yourself up. Your haters are your biggest fans, so use that to your advantage. My dreams and ambitions, one day to make the Olympic team, be one of the best freestyle wrestlers in the world. I want to be able to go back home, tell my mom, like, Mom, #1, there's nobody better. I'm going to try to keep getting better from there. I just want to be the best. The biggest lesson I've had to learn is that things will not always go your way, but you have to work with what you got. And once you're able to work with what you have, multiple doors will start to open.
From being born without any legs to being born with 2 bodies, 2 legs, and just 1 kidney and liver, Kendra and Malia are part of a minute number of twins, born conjoined.
To get around, we do different things for different places. I think we adapted fully because we didn't ever have 2 legs.
Yeah.
So
We don't have anything to run off of. We feel like we're the same as everybody else. There's just a few things that are a little different. The best thing about having 1 leg each is, like, we only have to paint 1 set of toenails, so that's really nice. Yeah. Mostly little kids stare, but when adults stare at us, we kind of like...
Or like it's strange, because they shouldn't
They should know not to stare. It's rare to be a conjoined twin. The doctor said that we weren't gonna live past 24 hours, but after we passed that, they said that we wouldn't live past 8 sharing 1 kidney for the both of us. So that's why we got separated. The feeling of being attached to someone else is weird.
Oh, Miss Kendra seems tired. Oh, there's Malia. She has an NJ too because she doesn't eat very well.
At 4 years old, Kendra and Malia's parents had a tough decision to make. Should they let their daughters have a life-threatening operation to separate them?
It wasn't always just cut and dry that we were going to separate them and that's all that there was to it. There's so much that goes into a huge decision like that. You have to make sure that it's the right thing for them. We went to a lot of different doctors, psychologists, anything that I could take them to just to make sure that they were ready and it wouldn't harm them.
We just called it cut apart day. We didn't understand, really know what it meant.
Are you setting up? Are you setting up, Kendra Dean? Are you setting up?
When we got separated, Kendra got the kidney, and then I went on dialysis for 9 months until my mom donated her kidney. And then 10 years after I got that kidney, it rejected, and I went on dialysis.
She was on dialysis for 2.5 years. And so she would go 3 hours, 3 times a day. So it ended up being about 4 hours, 3 times a week.
I have 56 minutes left already.
She just took it in stride. She had friends on dialysis that had passed away, and she had to deal with the loss of her friends, which was really hard. I'm just amazed at how well she did it. I don't think I could do it.
When I get up in the morning, I get ready for school, and then we get picked up by a friend, and then we go to school. High school's been good so far. People are really nice. It's just harder if classes are far apart. But other than that, it's fun. Millie and I make dinner every night, so we switch off. So one of us will make dinner and then other one do like homework or like whatever if we don't have homework. We like to film YouTube videos with this camera. We just got it. We just set up down here and we put this couch here and then we put our camera on a stand, and then so on our YouTube channel we just do like different funny videos.
And like we did a video of our story. We were only 3 when my parents talked to us about separating us. And I don't think we really understood what it meant. Well, we understood what it meant, but we didn't understand the risks of it.
Because we were so young, we didn't know what dying was. We like doing fun stuff too. We like making the videos just like to make people positive, I guess. We like making them because we're weird. And we like sharing our weirdness.
I think social media has helped improve their confidence, and it gives something to drive them, something that they're really interested in.
And they love coming to show us, Mom, look what this person said, and they were so excited that we responded to them, and I'm so glad that they have that in their life. The self-esteem that they have blows me away. Lots of people could learn a lot of things from them.
We are happy that our parents chose to separate us.
At 20 years old, Michelle often gets mistaken for a child due to her unusual appearance that's a result of her incredibly rare condition.
My name is Michelle Elizabeth Kiss. I have a condition called Hallermann-Streiff syndrome. It has 28 characteristics. I have 26 of them. The 2 that I don't have, I think, are brain problems or something. Yay! I don't know, Mom knows more about this than I do.
Dad's a spoiled sport.
Michelle was born with Hallermann-Streiff syndrome, a condition so rare that at the time of her birth, there were only 250 known cases of it worldwide.
The most annoying thing is being small because there's a lot of rides that I want to go on and like Six Flags, and I can't because it has a stupid height restriction. Another annoying thing is that with my trach I can't go in the water because I like to be a mermaid. I like mermaids.
When I was pregnant with Michelle, everything was normal. There was no issue at all through the pregnancy or through the delivery. Michelle was diagnosed by a geneticist. She had recognized the syndrome from pictures in her medical books, but no one had ever seen it in person. The fact that my child had a rare genetic disorder that was 1 in 5 million and occurred only every 5 generations. I was pretty much devastated.
I do have to go into the hospital like a lot. I can't count how many times, but a lot. It's like my second home, basically.
The symptoms of Hallermann-Streiff syndrome, the main ones are that it's a cranial facial disorder, bilateral cataracts, frontal bossing of the forehead, a recessed chin, small beak-like nose, a small airway, stenosed ear canals, and dental anomalies. Michelle also got some of the secondary characteristics like dwarfism, cardiomyopathy, chronic pulmonary lung disease, mitrogastria, fragile bones, skin atrophy, alopecia. Have I hit it all? I mean, there's...
You've hit most of them, yeah. I can't think of any.
Now Michelle is a 20-year-old young lady, smart as a whip, happy as ever. She's one of the happiest 20-year-olds I know.
My favorite things to do are playing on my computer, watching TV, playing on my iPad, playing with my dog, Piper. I got my dog 3 years ago. She's very cute. She's very lovable. She goes by me when I'm sick.
Michelle struggles the most without admitting it. She's lonely.
This is the first time I got a friend to help me.
That's nice.
A friendly wizard.
Kids are nice to her, but she's never really developed friendships like, let's say, her older sister has, or kids her own age. And she's just like any teenager, now young lady, 20-year-old. She wants a boyfriend.
Have I ever had a boyfriend? No. But I want to really bad. Because I'm already 20 and Sarah had her first boyfriend in high school. I would look for in a boyfriend, long hair. Period.
When Michelle talks about wanting a boyfriend, it's interesting. I tell her that it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's kind of sad that, I want her to have that same experience, but also she's very, very confident and she's a very strong, independent human. Michelle was sick a lot when we were younger, so we didn't get to hang out as much, but as we grew up, right, we hung out more.
Yeah.
Do we ever annoy each other?
Do we?
Do we? I think sometimes, normal sister stuff, right?
Yeah. Food stinks.
Food stinks?
Yeah.
This is Sophia, as Michelle calls it. Instead of a ventilator, it's not so medical.
Okay.
Michelle puts her own ventilator on.
Sophia.
Sophia, so now she'll be on it for an
I
hour.
get on at 3:02, so I'll get off at 4:02.
Okay.
Oh,
Oops.
sorry.
Pop goes her ventilator.
Sophia. My dream job is being a pediatric doctor in the ER. And I got 2 backup jobs just in case they don't work. I want to be a fashion designer like on my favorite computer game, Barbie's Fashion Show. And I want to be an actress.
Every time I introduce Michelle to a new friend, they immediately think she's really sassy and really funny. But they love that about you.
I'm not sassy.
Oh, you're very sassy.
No, I'm not.
Okay. But they love that about you. And they end up liking you more than me. No, I'm just kidding.
Michelle's long-term outlook or prognosis is unknown at this point. We've had several close calls. Overall, she's fairly healthy with all the maintenance. She's just a happy young lady.
She's tough as nails.
I think I'm different from the average 20-year-old, but that's okay.
4-year-old Isla is the only one in the world born with the mutation she has of her condition.
This is Isla. She's age 4. Isla's got a very cheeky personality, haven't you? Yes, you have. Yes, you have, you cheeky girl. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Sassy, funny, she knows what she wants. Wow, that's good. We were given the diagnosis the October after she was born that she had a condition called mandibular acrodysplasia, but the mutation that they'd found they'd never seen before. So they were unable to give us any answers. All that they could tell us is that it affects bone growth and premature aging of her major organs, so like her heart, kidneys, everything like that. And we were told that she could be, at risk of strokes from as young as 7. We have no one that we can compare Isla with. She's the only one in the world with this mutation. So there's just no one like Isla.
This is her breakfast. So Isla has oral intake as well, but she doesn't eat enough calories. Ready? You're doing it.
We have a number of different specialists that are involved in Isla's life. So it's pretty full on with appointments. It was just a case of trying to make sure that we just made life as normal as possible. We hate that word, don't we? Normal. Doesn't bother her that she's got a tracheostomy. It doesn't matter that she's got she's tube fed. She knows why, and she knows that it helps her life. And you're still cheeky with your sister, aren't you? Are you cheeky to Paige? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right, should we get dressed then? Should we go to the park? I suppose the main thing that you worry about is it going to affect her life expectancy, and that's the worst one. So it's part of the reason why we try and just live life as we can and to the fullest, because we don't know what's going to happen, and as rubbish as that sounds, it's true. I just wanted to make sure that no matter what happens, we had videos between both of the girls and memories. It's just to make sure that those memories are always there. I just don't want to be without her. None of us do. So that's the hardest. And I suppose one of the things that you just try not to think about. Unfortunately, something you think about daily. Sean, will you pass me some tissue, please? Mummy's fine. Scary me. It was during lockdown. Isla's sister wanted her own TikTok. We said, right, let's set one up, because she wanted to do it as well. You know, sisters being sisters, one can't do something without the other. So then we just started doing it, making little silly dance videos, and it just took off.
It's literally just videos of the girls and just living the life. And obviously people like it.
What do I need to do?
When we first started TikTok, because we were talking about the premature aging, they just went with the Benjamin Button because it's premature aging, but I suppose in the reverse. It definitely drew people's attention to it. Most people thank us for sharing Isla's life with them. We have had the odd hate comment, and I think at first that was hard for me to, first of all, understand why you'd want to say such horrible things about a kid. But now it just gets ignored because unfortunately it's just the world. 99% of it is positive, and, you know, we appreciate it. Right, come on then. Should we go and get some lunch? She's made such changes in our life that actually we're only thankful for her and what she's brought to us.
3, 1, go!
I try my hardest to envision the future and Isla always being in it. It's Paige's little sister, and I hope they give me mischief for many years to come. Everyone wants to be a TikTok superstar. I just think it's just worked in such a positive way. I know it's not always positive experience for everyone. You make a lot of people smile though, don't you? Yeah? And you make a lot of people happy. And it's because you're such a brave little girl, aren't you? So should we say thank you to everybody? Yeah? Go on then. So what do we say? Thank you, everybody. Yeah?
23-year-old Carli has a rare connective tissue disease called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, or FOP, which causes muscles, tendons and ligaments to turn to bone.
Right hip is locked, so I stand like a flamingo, but my foot doesn't reach the ground all the way, which is why I walk with a limp. So when I stand, I just have really good balance. For me, it's more comfortable because if I were to stand like with 2 feet, I would stand like this.
Because her hip's locked.
Isn't very helpful. So it's easier because I can stand straight and then talk to someone. Whereas if I stood with both feet on the ground, I'd be talking to the ground. Not often do you need to talk to the ground. The first thing to go was there was a lot of swelling in my back that has caused that over time to just turn into a sheet of bone. I have progressively lost more movement in my shoulders and neck, to at this point where I have almost none.
So Carli can't bend at her waist. She cannot raise her arms over her head. Luckily, she still has movement that she can get to her mouth, but I help her with her earrings, I help her shower. I do her hair.
Put her shoes on, and we drive her places that she needs to go.
FOP is one of the rarest known diseases, affecting approximately only 800 people worldwide.
So I was diagnosed with FOP at 5.5. I took a really bad fall in 2001 off of the back of a bar stool and had a lot of swelling. Next day we went to the doctor.
When we brought Carli in to have her looked at, that's when Dr. Schmidt looked at us and said, you know, I just want to see her feet.
The genetic mutation causes big toes to be malformed, and sometimes a joint is missing completely.
He looked at her feet and said, you know, I think I know what this is. He wrote it on a piece of paper and said, you know, there'll be some specialists you'll have to see. basically, that's when we found out.
It can be triggered by a fall, or even something as little as a paper cut can trigger new bone to form, and sometimes it's nothing at all. I could fall today and nothing would happen, but if I took the same fall another day, it could cause me to lose mobility. So it kind of depends on what wakes up the FOP beast, as we like to call it.
The condition progresses in spurts. These kids tend to go through a time period where there are a lot of flare-ups. We're not really sure why. There's some suspicion that hormonal events that happen during adolescence may be a trigger. So Carli lives a little differently because it's difficult for her to be on her own, right? She's a young woman who would probably like her independence and the ability to get out and do things on her own, and her disease doesn't allow her to do that.
At just 7 years old, Carli's jaw locked, and now she can't open her mouth more than 2 millimeters.
They took 8 teeth out, so I can get food through the holes, as I like to call them. But it's definitely harder to chew. If there was a sport, I was in it, and I was the center of attention. I just loved everything about being active. So I remember my parents having to slow me down a lot. They never treated me any different.
She was on the swim team. She wasn't very good, but she competed anyways. And everyone cheered her on.
It didn't matter. It wasn't what it was about. It was about her just being her.
So we are actually really lucky for such a rare disease. We have a couple amazing doctors on the case. You go, and then I go, and then my dad goes, and then
This
my
is tragic. I am ruining this. I'm about to lose it right now. This is actually so tragic. It's stuck in there.
There's drugs that will hopefully prevent bone from forming because of a flare-up. That's the drug that Carli is on right now as a clinical trial.
Where we're at today versus where we were 15 years ago, just amazing.
So this is the piece of bone that is causing my jaw to lock, which is why I have no movement. And hopefully in the coming years with FOP treatment, they will be able to remove that cord of bone, giving me mobility back in my jaw.
The life expectancy of someone with FOP is just 40 years old, and there is currently no cure. However, there are multiple clinical trials looking into FOP, promising treatments and potential cures.
Carli went to 3 different colleges, finally graduated from Maryville. I went to Drury in Springfield, Missouri. Sometimes Carli will curl my hair for me and French braid it.
Carli has been with her boyfriend Billy for 6 years.
We decided to move in together. That one was actually instigated by me.
She caught me off guard.
There we go. I decided it was kind of the right time for me to venture out on my own while I still could. We're hoping in the next 2 or 3 weeks to be moved in here. There was no real modifications that we made in here. We just are going to be careful about where we put the dishes and other things in the kitchen to be able to be at a level to where I can reach them. So here we have the bathroom. This we had to completely gut. And then we also have a bench that I can sit on and also use to put shampoo and conditioner so that I can reach it. I'm pretty excited.
It's been a journey. We'll be happy when it's over.
I'm just excited to get into my new home and see where my independence can take me.
From muscles that turn to bone to a condition that causes bones to disappear throughout the body, 14-year-old Natalia has an incredibly rare condition called idiopathic multicentric osteolysis.
This means that I'm tired a lot because all my bones are like putting pressure on something. Like what? Or that the skin and the muscle are basically working to keep all my extremities together So the more I use them, the more I'll be in pain and tired.
The condition is so rare, there have been less than 100 cases reported worldwide. This means very little is known about it, and there is no treatment or cure.
Basically, her body is absorbing the calcium from her bones and essentially making them disappear. So Natalia, she's got no carpal bones, no tarsal bones, and it affects the smaller bones first. There's just severe deterioration in her knees. Her shoulders and her elbows are basically held together by just the soft tissue around there, the nerves. She's had a motorized wheelchair since she's been in first grade. About 2013, it was getting very difficult for me to carry Natalia. So we decided to add on to the house and put the wheelchair lift in to at least give her the access to her bedroom with her chair and give her some independence. We cut her food for her so that she can, again, be independent and feed herself to the extent that she can.
Even if I'm having a tough day, I feel like I want to push through it because I don't want the pain to impact, like my mom said, like quality of my life. I just want my life to be as normal as possible. It does get a little frustrating, but I think I've just been able to figure out a different way to be independent. Something that distracts me is art. I like digital art, so I love drawing on my iPad because it's sometimes easier than drawing on paper, which gets me a little tired.
She's very stubborn, but in a good way. She sticks to her own path. She doesn't let you deter her from what she wants to do, and sometimes she is right. She's creative, she does a lot of drawing work, and she's strong with what she goes through on a day-to-day basis. So it's hard knowing what she deals with and like all the pain.
My mom works from home 3 days a week, so she usually helps me in the morning. And then my dad usually helps me get my breakfast and then takes me to school.
I greet her at the door, open the door for her.
Oh, Natalia.
Of course, she prefers to be independent, and I let her be independent unless she tells me she needs some assistance.
Do I do a new file?
Natalia is a great student. She does very, very high level work, works very, very hard, and is one of our best students.
In addition to causing bones to disappear, IMO is also associated with fatal kidney failure. In order to monitor the condition and help with her pain, Natalia makes regular visits to specialist doctors.
Dr. Smith helps me with all the problems that my bones are having. So like at the moment I'm having shoulder pain. They haven't really figured out a solution for most of my pain.
But there's still no answer to relieve the pain. It's just more of managing her pain at this point.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Smith.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
How are you, Natalia?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good?
Good.
How has your pain and stuff been lately?
I think the normal, like I've been telling you, like the shoulder and the back pain.
Right.
This is a very rare condition. We've only seen a few cases, and each child is specific. Well, I've been following Natalia since she was 3 years old, and it's actually poorly understood.
And how has your neck been?
They're the same. It still feels like it's ready to drop because it feels like it's like a bowling ball. My head, like the weight.
Weak?
Yeah.
Is it all day? Or,
Yeah, it's all day. All day. So sometimes it kind of gets tiring to sit up. So.
We've tried different kinds of medications to treat it and other complicated aspects of this disease. For us, we expect that she might have some progression of her of her disease, but she should always be fairly functional in her chair. We are working with different kinds of adaptive things so that she can become a productive adult.
Natalia may be limited in the things she's able to do, but she's determined to find ways to enjoy life.
I think you gotta move that one there. They can go out. Or we can start the first round and then. Yeah, that's fine. Right? Oh wait, I can't go. I like bowling because it sort of gives me a place to put all my life struggles into, and I don't have to focus on anything else, and I can sort of get out of it while I'm bowling. Okay, we'll put the V on the top.
Even though like that people may be struggling with this condition, I feel like you should never let it affect you because there's more to you than this disease.
Ready, set, go.
Hey, look at that!
The penultimate rare condition we'll be looking at is Prader-Willi syndrome, a condition that causes people with it to have an insatiable hunger.
My name is Camille and I'm 23 years old.
When Camille was born, she wouldn't take the bottle. She couldn't really suck very well. When the nurse came to us, she mentioned that something was wrong with Camille. They decided that they needed to take her into the neonatal intensive care unit where they were able to feed her through the feeding tube, and they needed to do some testing and so forth.
When you were 3 months old, we got the diagnosis from that genetics testing that you had Prader-Willi syndrome. It was something that we weren't ready for. It affects 1 in 12 to 15,000 people. There are learning disabilities, there's anxiety, obsessive compulsive behaviors. The main thing that comes along with it is an insatiable appetite. There's low muscle tone. They don't burn calories the same way as somebody else would. Each morning when I get up, I have to disarm the alarm system so that I don't wake the whole house up. The reason that we have to lock things up is to keep Camille out of the kitchen. We have just an alley kitchen, so it's easy to have a framed-in door with a locking system. And it was around the age of 10 that we noticed that there was food seeking going on.
5.
I'm sorry, 5. I went into one morning to get my sandwich out of the refrigerator to leave for work in the morning, and I noticed that a bite had been taken out of it. And then the second thing was Kim made a tray of cinnamon buns, and they went missing. It was at that moment that the light bulb went on. Imagine smashing your thumb with a hammer and telling yourself not to feel any pain. That's how I kind of think about it with Camille as far as hunger. Like, it's just impossible for her not to feel that. Camille is really quick when there's food accessible. We have nicknamed her the Stealth Ninja as a result. You turn your back for a split second, if there's something left out, she could quickly put it in her pocket or take it and run to her room. Not that long ago, we forgot to set the alarm at night. When I left for work that morning, I noticed that the trash can was knocked over, and I thought it was due to the raccoons. And then later that morning, my wife texted me and said that she had found a pizza box behind Cammie's bed. Camille is on a diet of about 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day.
Normally it would be like 2 ounces of plain grilled chicken or something like that. She always has a cup of vegetable, a cup of fruit, and a cup of Jell-O.
I like my Jell-O, having my Jell-O. It makes me feel really good that they take care of me all the time.
We have to basically not eat around her. I can get away with it a little more because I'm the older brother. If my parent or my brother just bring out a snack, she'll be asking, why does he have that? Or when can I get something?
When I do eat,
I have to make sure when I'm done with it, it goes in the trash, or else she'll take it right away.
It's hard feeling hungry all the time. It gives me anxiety.
We have pinpointed anxiety medication and depression medication and some mood stabilizers.
Routine does help lower anxiety levels. Monday through Friday, she goes to a program during the day from 8 to 2. All right, come on, Cam. We're gonna take Lulu for a walk. Let's get your coat on. Prader-Willi syndrome is what Camille lives with. It's the diagnosis that she's been given, but it certainly does not define her. She is so much more than that. She's loving, caring, kind, compassionate, giving. If you have some sort of animal, she'll never forget the story you tell about it or the animal's name.
Lulu, wanna go for a walk? Lulu, wanna go for a walk?
We really just want for her to be happy, but for her that's going to take a bit more from us and from the community for that to happen.
The more that we can share our story with others, the more that we hope to be able to educate other people and let people know that yes, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be okay.
Our final story is about Natalie, who is one of the rarest cases of her condition.
The doctors has told me that I'm one of 20 people in the whole world that has ichthyosis confetti. Ichthyosis is a rare skin condition, which means that my skin is healing by itself. So this is my plastic bath tub. So we don't have the space for a normal bathtub, so I bought a plastic one because I need it for my skin, and yeah, so I use it a few times a week. Maybe 5 hours. I have my computer, so I watch a movie, drink a cup of tea, I have candles all over the bathroom, so I make it a spa time while bathing. The symptoms is, for example, itchiness, dryness, stiffness, pain, because I haven't put on cream and I'm very dry, and that makes it like just by doing this with my hands can hurt, or waking up and going up from bed. I have to plan before doing anything because everything takes such a long time to make myself ready. My skin routine takes a lot of time. I remember when I was younger, people always thought it was contagious, and that's something that I really didn't like because I could feel the afraidness that people felt coming near me. But once when I was at a water park, I wasn't allowed to be there because of my skin condition. They thought that people there wouldn't like to be bathing at the same swimming pool, or I don't know. I looked like this, and I will always be looking like this, but I'm not contagious, so you don't have to be afraid.
Natalie, what are you gonna do today? My name is Siri and I'm Natalie's cousin. Are you gonna take any photographs today?
Yes, I am. So Pablo's coming, my photographer. We will meet up at the cafe at Holmgången, and then he'll come and then he'll take some pictures of me.
I've always just seen her as who she is and not like that she looks different. I've always had Natalie next to me. It surprises me sometimes when some people react, and some people react like in a rude way, and that's not okay.
What are you gonna do today?
Well, I thought I was gonna hang out with you. I don't have a lot of plans. I'm just gonna tag along.
Tag along.
I'm very happy for Natalie for getting into modeling. She deserves to do something that makes her happy, and I think it's good for other people to see how much courage Natalie has, and she really shows the world who she is, and I think it's very brave.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
This is the third time I shoot with Natalie. She contacted me before the summer, around April, and she was in need of getting some material with high quality, because she wanted to pursue this dream of being a model or trying that to disrupt that market, let's say, with her special condition, and she was trying to show her beauty, and I tried to help her to do that.
I've done some campaign commercial jobs. I really love to do it because I feel more confident, and I also want to inspire people because no one should hide because they look different.
She has evolved quite a lot. The first shoot was with her family around, so she could feel a bit more safe and secure. And the second photo shoot, we work a lot on kind of like how to move the body, the face, and how to get different postures. She has a natural talent for it.
I've got a lot of nice comments actually, like, "Oh, you're such an inspiration," or "Oh, you look beautiful," "Oh, your skin looks so fascinating and beautiful with all the different patterns and colors, and it's so beautiful, and I'm strong." I love my skin because it makes me unique, special. If anyone had a problem with my appearance, I would tell them that I don't feel bad about it, so why should you? And if you don't accept it, then that's your problem.
Living with a rare condition is difficult. But for some whose outward appearance is so dramatically affected, it's inescapable.
Do you like taking your ears off to sleep? Yeah?
Ping pong ball, right? Like that can fit right in there, no problem.
These people have some of the rarest and most difficult to treat facial conditions in the world. Their conditions have baffled the medical world.
I was given a condition that there's no name for, so we just call it the Nathan syndrome.
Shocked and surprised the people around them.
There were some kids that told him he looked like a monster.
And made those living their lives with a dramatically different appearance very difficult. But these incredible people haven't let their condition stop them from living their lives in some extraordinary ways.
I like playing my guitar and playing tennis.
Get ready to be inspired by these amazing humans.
A lot of people would sit down and just say, you know, woe is me. But Nick has really taken it, and he's made himself stronger with it.
From the moment we're born, society tries to fit us in a box of what is acceptably beautiful. And I want to shatter that box.
Starting with Nathan. Doctors are so baffled by his facial condition, they've been unable to name or give a reason for it.
When waking up, I have to clean my eyeball. I have to make sure my right side of my face is good, nothing is broken. A lot of people don't know this have a fake eye. A lot of people think it's real. When I tell someone, oh, it's a fake eye, they're like, what, bro? Like, what? My whole left side of my face is normal, as you can tell, little ear, jaw. But on my right side, it's completely the opposite. My nose, I didn't have a nose growing up. They actually took a bone from my rib and put it on my nose. I don't have a jawline. Again, this is from my rib. I was given a condition that there's no name for. Obviously you can tell, so we just call it the Nathan syndrome. One thing I heard was when I was in my mom's belly that I leaned to my right side on the wall, and that's why it wasn't developed. I've had a total of 37 surgeries. I would estimate that my surgeries cost well over $1 million.
We found out about Nathan's condition when I was about 12 weeks into our pregnancy. It was a second ultrasound that discovered that he was going to come with a cleft lip. The bills are endless, but it's not something that you can think about. You just do what you have to do, and you deal with the bills as they come and as best you can as a parent. This one is actually when he's only had one surgery here. So his first surgery was to take out his eye. He had his first surgery when he was 2 weeks old. He was always laughing from day one.
Nate as a brother is very energetic sometimes. He could be too much, but I love him. He's a great person to be around, and we always have fun every time we're together.
Despite having to live through so many surgeries to try and create the face he has now, Nathan has an inspiringly positive outlook on his unconventional appearance.
One of my favorite things about my face, my fake eye for sure. I can pop it out, make jokes to the kids, be like, boo. So this is one of my fake eyes, but overall, just my whole face, honestly. I just love it. It makes me who I am. My friends are really important. I think besides your parents, your friends really influence the person you become. I played baseball, I would say, for like about 8 years. Let's go play baseball! Right here, baby. Home run like I'm Babe Ruth. No one's ever really told me, but I'm pretty sure there's been some girls that I've liked, that I've gone after, that probably didn't get me because of my face. Probably at a young age it affected a lot. Right here, woman power, woman power. Growing up, I think girls become to realize not what's on the outside is definitely more on what's inside.
He gives like a good outlook on life, even though what life throws at him.
How you doing, sir? Alright, never mind. No, thank you. Love you, Kuka.
And he's definitely a leader too. He knows what he wants and he knows what to do, so he's definitely able to achieve his goals.
Yep.
TikTok, I just like to create content. A lot of people telling me they like what I'm doing, I'm making them laugh.
Okay, ready, y'all?
Let's go, let's go!
I beat you in 1v1.
No, you did not, bro.
I know this man ain't talking.
Wait, I was just laughing.
What are you laughing at, list boy?
Bro.
Why you guys take it perfect?
Why are you talking to me like you don't look like the sloth from Goonies, bro?
Well, I was
you
just
guys
laughing.
It hasn't been easy for him, but he's a very strong. He teach me a lot. He teach me how to be a better parent.
He was an honor roll student in high school. He's in his second year of college. He knows that there is no limits for him. If he wants something, he's going to try to attain it.
I would never change anything about myself. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of who God made me. I don't want to change how I look. Everything happens for a reason.
Being positive about her unusual facial condition hasn't come as easily for Taylor, whose rare syndrome affects only one person in every 3 to 4 million people.
So this was the day that you were diagnosed with a condition, and it was Friday, 13th of February.
I was born with a really rare neurological disorder called no-death syndrome. So it's basically like facial paralysis, and because of this syndrome, I was also born with an outer extremity deformity, and mine was bilateral talipes or clubbed feet. And around the age of, I want to say 11 or 12, I had a really invasive operation that was supposed to be able to make me smile, but it was unsuccessful.
And getting the news, that was really heartbreaking on the day, because you sort of thought, well, what's going to happen down the track? How will she progress? What will the teenage years be like? What will her young adult life be like? And all those sorts of things. So, so yeah, it was heartbreaking. Ugh. Whew.
I think my confidence got knocked out of me as I got older. I didn't want to go anywhere because I was insecure about myself. But when it comes to physical bullying, it's like, it's tough. So, you know, like I was pushed down hills, I had my bag ripped off my back, had books ripped out of my bag. I would get, like I'd be walking upstairs and people would kick my knees in from behind. You know, it was tough. Oh, of course it did. I would always look at people and be like, why can't I be them? Why can't I just be accepted like they are accepting everyone else?
Despite having such a hard time with her confidence, Taylor decided not to let the bullies get the better of her.
I first started the self-help journey around the age of 20. That doesn't mean I fully accepted myself then, but it's been 4 years of me really working hard in all aspects of my life to make sure I can live the best life I possibly can. When I started to own who I was and my appearance and everything about myself, my whole world opened up.
I'd sort of started getting better at the beginning of 2017. I was contacted by someone from Parafed Auckland, which is like the Paralympic sort of body here in Auckland, and asked if I wanted to give athletics a go, and so I was like, sure, I won't be running anywhere, but I'll throw something. So they gave me a shot put and they said, just give it a go. So I threw it and they were like, wow, okay, you're pretty good. And then they measured it and they were like, oh, you've just broken the New Zealand record in your classification, where I competed and got my classification to compete internationally, and also became world #1 in my classification by competing there, which was just incredible. Being an athlete has given me so much discipline and strength and confidence, and it's really set me up, and I think it really helped in terms of my recovery journey. Oh, everything's changed since accepting myself. My confidence, the way I interact with people, the way I interact with people online, being 100% authentic to me. Like, I'm probably one of the most sarcastic people you'll ever meet.
Gosh, I know. It is so hard being ridiculously, offensively attractive. Like, I get it. I'm so sorry.
And to be able to showcase that, especially on platforms like TikTok, like people just love that. I just don't care what anyone has to say, and just go with the flow, and accepting myself for who I am was the greatest decision I ever made, and it just keeps getting better and better and better.
She's got this intelligence there that is very underestimated, and yeah, Mum and Dad are very super proud of her.
I found myself, but I've also found my purpose. I know it sounds so cheesy, but I think it was all worth it. I'd say the main thing would be inspiring and empowering other people. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. It's something that still blows my mind today, that people can take so much from me and my story. If you'd asked me a few years ago, I would have been probably a bit annoyed or sad about it, and I probably would have wanted to get another operation that was enabling me to smile. But now I'm so more than fine with it. Like, I love not being able to smile, it's my superpower.
13-year-old Amari has one of the most severe cases of his condition in the world.
Hey, Amari. Hey, doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for some lunch?
Yeah.
I actually knew when I was pregnant with him that it was like a 50-50 chance that he would come out with his genetic condition. Come on, little bud. Amari has a condition called NF type 1, which is incurable, and which causes tumors and throughout his skeletal and nervous system. So it just caused a lot of problems throughout his body, which the growths can come up anywhere on his body. Amari has one of the worst cases that you can get. So he was taking chemo medicine for a while, and it seemed to help a little bit, but he's not been on it for a year or so, just to see how the tumors act. Put it on there. So this year we probably have to start him back on some kind of chemo medicine, because it looks like they're starting to grow back, or grow a little more and faster. It's a lot, it really is. As he got older, it got more noticeable because the tumors grew. I'm trying not to get emotional. It was hard, it was very hard when I found out. Okay, it'll be done in just a minute. Amari, he's like any other young boy his age. It just, he has limitations of things that he can and can't do. His vision is very, very limited. He only can see out the right eye, which is barely, which is kind of covered up, his right eye as well, because of the tumors. So it makes it hard for him to do certain things. Like, he loves football, but he really can't get out there and play like everybody else because of his tumors. But he really doesn't act like he have a genetic condition or anything, because I look at him as a normal child. 2017, Amari got to meet the Harlem Globetrotters in Huntsville, Alabama, and he got a autographed jersey and a basketball as well. But he had a great time that day. He really did. He smiled the whole way there and all the way home. I was overjoyed because he still talks about it to this day. I have to pull the table up, okay? So you can eat. We're getting ready for EJ and Louis, Amari's cousin, to come over. When they come over, we're gonna probably go to the park somewhere and let them just have some fun together and spend some time together at the park. Hey, babies. Hey, my loves. Look at that. Now pray that something can be done. It's hard, it really is.
Because of how the neurofibromatosis has affected Amari's face, he's been judged harshly by people when he's been out in public.
Amari, he mostly plays with his two cousins, so he really doesn't really get out a whole lot.
We just like to have fun with our family and our cousin Amari. I know he has a genetic condition. I like hanging out with just the same. I like hanging out just the way he is. That doesn't seem any different.
I know the last time I took him to a park, there were some kids that told him he looked like a monster, so. And he hasn't been back to that park ever since. So I had to tell him that sorry. I had to tell him that he's not a monster. Main focus is Amari and giving him a better quality of life, because I don't want to have to focus on trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this and that paid. I made this GoFundMe in order to just help provide, because we have a lot of doctor's appointments that we have to go back and forth to. He inspired me in so many ways. He's enthusiastic about everything. He doesn't let anything get him down, really. I just only can hope that they find something that can really, really help him tremendously down the line. That can maybe even take all the tumors away. That would be a blessing right there.
Unlike the others in this film, Tina wasn't born with the condition that has caused her facial difference.
I was diagnosed with stage 2 nasal cancer in May of 2014. When I found out, I was devastated, just terrified. They wanted me to have radiation. The risks were quite profound. There was a great risk to my eyesight, risk to my brain, my saliva glands. I could have ended up on a feeding tube for the rest of my life. There's got to be another way. My best chance to be cancer-free is to have the full rhinectomy. The doctor said, "You're a young, attractive woman. We don't want to permanently disfigure you." I told him, "I appreciate that, but what good is pretty if I'm not here anymore?" I made the decision, just cut it off. I can remember holding my children before the final surgery and just breathing them in, because I didn't know if I would be able to smell them ever again. I can remember the last time I was able to put my nose to warm it in the nape of my husband's neck. You hold on to what you can, especially when you're facing something like your mortality. After the complete rhinectomy, I was worried how people would react to me, particularly children. Particularly my children. The first time our youngest son saw me without the gauze, he turned bright red, just started trembling. And he said, "Oh my goodness, Mommy, what happened to your nose? You need to go see Dr. Connor right now." Dr. Connor is his pediatrician. When he said that, laughter through tears. I'm sorry. I do put up a brave face, and I do feel strong, and I do feel brave, but I've had to fight for that. People say, well, how are you so confident? Because I fought dang hard, and I'm alive. Nothing's more beautiful than alive. I'm pretty excited today. I'm gonna meet my daughter, Christina, out for lunch.
Hey, are you ready to go?
I am. Let me grab my jacket and my purse. We're out the door.
Alrighty.
Can I have kisses? Bye. Be good for Pop Pop.
The first time I saw my mom without her nose, I could tell by the way that she was looking at me that she expected me to have that wow factor. That, oh my gosh, you look so different. She's my mother. I was just thankful to still have her here.
I love you so much. When I first lost my nose, I noticed that the stares really bothered my family members. So what I told the kids was, well, honey, they're staring because they're trying to figure out how I still look this good and I don't even have a nose on my face. My face is without a nose, and anything that's different or deformed or anything of that nature is made to be scary. Society builds it that way.
After the operation to remove her nose, Tina was eventually given a prosthetic to wear, but surprisingly, she decided not to wear it.
I don't know if it's that I had lived 6 months without it. I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the glue. It irritated my skin. Like I couldn't breathe when I had it on. Not physically. I couldn't emotionally breathe. But I wore it for about 2 years. I just don't care for it, but maybe if I could get Reese Witherspoon's nose, it could look like Reese Witherspoon. And one day I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I still have people that ask me, why don't you wear that prosthetic? You would be so pretty if you had a nose. I'm pretty anyway. I just stopped letting it define me.
I'm proud of my mom because all the stuff she's been through, she made it through.
What has that taught you?
Don't listen to other people if they say mean things.
I do get a lot of comments, though, where people are telling me how they're inspired by my bravery to put myself out there, no prosthetic, no conforming to what the world deems beautiful. I like to say a lot that society tries to fit us in a box from the moment we're born, and I want to shatter that box. I want to destroy it. I don't want anybody to ever feel like they're not beautiful.
Like Tina, Tessa also lives without a nose, but she is one of only 100 people in the world that was born with the condition she has.
It's disappointing that I can't smell the good smells, but it's awesome that I can't smell the bad smells.
Even if they were able to make an airway for Tessa with her nose, she still wouldn't be able to smell because she doesn't have the part of your brain that actually processes the smell. Tessa was born without a nose. It's a condition known as BAM syndrome now. She also has limited vision in her right eye and none in her left. And she also then will probably need some hormone replacement to start puberty. The pregnancy progressed like any normal pregnancy, which meant that when she was born, it was a huge shock. And then very quickly, you just start to be worried for your baby because I didn't know if she was going to be healthy or survive.
To her parents' relief, Tessa made it through the tough first days of infancy.
Because she doesn't have a nose, at 8 days old, they inserted a trachea, and that helps her breathe.
So this is just changing the trachea tube. And I'll pop this one in.
It's too tight.
Too tight? So just in the same way as most people have a mouth to breathe through and a nose, Tessa has her mouth and her trachea. So whenever you don't have your speaking valve on, Tess, what happens?
My voice gets quieter and breathy.
And then so this is a speaking valve.
It goes louder. Yes. Healthy.
Excellent, Tessa. There are currently around 100 individuals in the world with BAM syndrome, making it one of the rarest conditions there is. Those are the pictures of your skull printed out.
It's awesome.
Hi, Miss Tessa. And she was the first person in the world to have a nose made using 3D technology. How are you feeling? They were able to put in a little implant in behind her nose and give her this little bump that was super cute, and that was her first nose. When she was 4, we went back over and they put in the larger implant. It led to some stitches reopening, some infections, and eventually they had to make the decision to remove the implant completely. And we're all ready for surgery on Monday. And right now she doesn't have any implant at all, so she looks very much like she did whenever she was a baby. Still gorgeous. Look, you're absolutely beautiful without a nose and with a nose. But she's really hoping that they're able to restart the process of getting a new implant. So hello, hi Dr. Ong. We're talking to one of Tessa's consultants at Great Ormond Street, Dr. Ong, about the next steps for Tessa.
So listen, we're gonna get design a little nose for you, yeah, and a little bit more fat grafting. Do you remember that? To give you a little bit more fat just near where your nose is. There's a small risk of infection, as you know, with any plastic implants. But we'll give you some antibiotics anyway, and we'll hope to reduce that risk.
Because Tessa's had some issues in the past, do you think this time then it will be successful?
I think we'll be much more gentle with that skin in that area. So I'm hoping that she'll have a new little nose.
That's perfect. That's what we want to hear. And we were just looking at your very first nose, weren't we? So there you go, Tessa.
That's the very first one.
Hold it up and show Dr. Ong.
There you go.
There it is.
I really want it like this.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, because you were only 2 whenever that one was in, huh?
You'll get a brand new nose.
Yeah.
They're not going to use that one.
It's just the old one.
I am excited to get a new nose. I hope it's not scary.
But this time next year, you think?
Yeah, they'll be able to do another surgery and she'll be able to have her nose in again.
The first thing I'll do when I get my new nose is going to put my glasses on.
Tessa has proved everybody wrong. She's exceeded everybody's expectations.
She walks into any room and she can lift the mood of the room and just make everyone happy.
I really can't wait for my new nose. It's going to make me really happy. My BAM syndrome will not stop me from doing anything.
While Tessa was born without a nose, Jacqueline was born with a rare condition which has affected her face so much so she's unable to speak.
My name is Jacqueline Rodriguez and I am 16 years old.
Jacqueline was born in 2001. They told us that she had a condition. They're now calling it lymphatic malformations. It's abnormal cells in her lymph node activity, and these cells just want to exist in her cheeks and her tongue and the floor of her mouth. When I was still pregnant with her, they were telling us that our daughter's quality of life would be poor. She may not make it to see her first birthday. They gave us a choice to end the pregnancy or continue. We chose life. They've tried to excise some of the tumor. It just kept growing back. We've been working with doctors to control the growth of her tumor. Before it was just growing and growing and causing her a lot of discomfort.
At first, she couldn't even swallow. We had to give her formula through her G-tube. Her tissue relaxed enough where she was starting to be able to swallow just a little bit. And she kept working it, and then now she was Now she puts down her formula, and that's all she has.
My parents help me by being my parents and try to make my life as normal as possible.
The tumor has affected her vocal cords, where she doesn't really have a voice. She has an iPad where she could use her speech program quickly to communicate and show us what she's thinking. I was the one who hated taking her out in the public because I didn't like people staring at her. And it was my son who said, "Mom, you know, it doesn't bother her as much as you think." And I realize that now.
Despite her bleak prognosis, Jacqueline hasn't let her condition stop her from pursuing her passions.
Not many people can say that their life expectancy was less than a year at birth, but is now like thriving at, how old is she? 16?
Yeah, I'm so proud of Jackie, like, especially with her recent accomplishments of playing guitar. Like, each time she like learns a new song, she's so excited to show us.
I like playing my guitar and playing tennis. I started playing tennis last year and it was a great year. Tennis helps with my confidence by knowing that I am strong enough to play a sport.
Being a part of the tennis team and having those girls make her feel like just part of the team.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with my teammates. We're about to go bowling soon.
She likes to help. She likes to help anybody. She's very good at wanting to babysit even, or entertain kids.
Or take care of elderly people.
Right.
I want to be a nurse because I grew up in a hospital helping my nurses take care of others.
Jackie's a good example. Everyone should be like Jackie because she doesn't care what anyone thinks. If she sees something she wants to do, she'll go out and do it. Like, you can't tell her no. Like, if she sets her mind to it, she'll try her best to achieve it or accomplish it in any way.
Now that she's achieving and, you know, her self-esteem is just blossomed, it's just incredible. And I just didn't think we'd be here at this point. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Nick was born with a condition which affects people in many different ways across their body. But his effects from it have been mostly on his face.
My condition grew as I grew, right? So like NF1 means neurofibromatosis. Neuro meaning nerves, fibroma meaning fibers, matosis meaning mass. It's like if you imagine like a regular nerve line, my nerve line is like, has a bunch of nerves, and for me it's covered in a plexiform. Bumps around my body and stuff. I started noticing my condition probably in about 7 or 8 years old. The bumps here, yeah, these are all part of the condition, yeah. That's a mole, that's different, but that's part of it. That's one of the biggest ones I have for sure. My chest has a bunch of bumps as well. When I started getting my following on social media and stuff, I always got the same kind of questions. Like, the biggest one was, how do you shave? I usually just say, how do you shave? Because, you know, it's shaving. You put the shaving cream on, just make sure you don't cut yourself. But the flaps are pretty soft, squishy, and malleable, so it's pretty easy to go. Just rub up against them and get it done.
Hey Nick.
Well, brekkie time.
You got breakfast? Nice. So how's it going on social media? You know, Instagram, TikTok.
Not bad. I haven't made a video for a while, but my videos still do pretty good.
Not wanting to let his condition get the better of him, he took to TikTok.
When I hopped on TikTok, it just took off. What I enjoy about TikTok is just the way it's helped me express myself.
There's no way you just use Face ID.
Dog, I'm surprised too. It's helped me get to where I am today.
Yo, look. So it's been a while. You want to make one today?
I'm down, dude. Gotta think of some. Let's do it. All right. My little brother, he's been a rock through all this my entire life. He's always like supported me and defended me through high school.
Nick was looked at in the hallways differently. It was weird because I'm the younger brother, but I'd try to be protective of him. We've had some problems in high school, but nothing we couldn't get over. And as brothers, that makes us stronger.
Growing up, I guess looking back in retrospect, it was different than most like people, but at the same time, it felt like, you know, a normal experience for the, because, you know, it's normal for me, right? We go down there, I can pull up and like say, we just got back from your mother's house.
Close to the surgery, just maybe spread the message. I don't know.
So more about the surgery? What about if we said they wouldn't let me on the plane? I gotta take this. There's no other way.
Said you need to be double vaxxed for the surgery to fly. So you take the lawnmower all the way.
How many surgeries do you have so far?
So far, just the 2, but this third one coming up this August is gonna be my most extensive, biggest surgery yet. It's definitely gonna be a big difference. People always say, "Oh, you're perfect the way you are. You know, don't let them go," and stuff like that. And I'm completely comfortable with how I look and how I am. But this surgery is more so for the fact that I want the weight to be gone, and I'd love to contribute to the research and development of NF1 and the surgeries that come with it.
It's a good idea, I think. I hope so.
I gotta go all the way to Ontario. It wouldn't let me fly, so we gotta take this. It's gonna be a long trek, but we got this, fam. Let's do it.
Yeah, I watch all of Nick's TikToks, and I think it's great the way he expresses himself on the internet. TikTok's such a massive platform, and it's getting him a lot of recognition.
On TikTok, I say I love my flaps, right? So what I mean by that is that these flaps here, like, there's a few of them, and in the crevices of the flaps, like, I'm able to hold stuff and, like, use it more of like a utility tool. If I can demonstrate here. A ping pong ball, right? Like, that can fit right in there, no problem. I don't think the surgery is gonna affect me too much, but at the same time, like, the last one kind of did mentally. It kind of helped me get to where I am now. So I'm hoping to find out that, you know, brings me the idea that there's more to life than just living it one way. I never imagined I would get this many followers from the posting and from anything like that. Extremely grateful for what it has become.
His videos crack me up a lot of the time, but it also helps a lot of people that are in similar positions to Nick and have whatever going on in their lives, and it shows them that you can do something with any adversity that you're faced with. A lot of people sit down and just say, you know, woe is me, but Nick has really taken it, and he's made himself stronger with it.
If condition was all gone, I would definitely miss it because it's part of who I am, right? And like, I've grown accustomed to it, and I'm a fan of it myself. Even if there was an option to get it all removed, I don't think I would take that. To still have the condition and still have that as a part of my identity is pretty important to me, for sure.
Dwayne was the first person in his family to be born with a rare craniofacial disorder.
We had Chloe, and Chloe was fine, and then we had Ariasha.
Do you like taking your ears off to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why's that?
Because then I don't hear Chloe talking.
Dwayne's had to navigate the world alone, looking dramatically different to the rest of his family and peers.
Okay, I can do it. Treacher-Collins is a birth syndrome that affects a couple key chromosomes genetically. Craniofacial defects, which can include microtia, i.e. I have prosthetic ears. Eyesight, hearing, I don't have cheekbones, tear ducts, all sorts of craniofacial deformities that are different. And of course, that's something you're born with. And of course, the advantage for me is it makes you extremely memorable. No one has ever forgotten my face. But thankfully, it does not affect your mental aptitude or your physical aptitude. My ears are magnetically attached, and I take them off every night to sleep, or when I go swimming, or when I play in the lake. So sometimes it's like being Mr. Potato Head. You know, I gotta go to the water, go to bed, and take myself apart. I can take my hearing aid off. Yeah, so I was born in 1984, and so the knowledge about Treacher-Collins syndrome was very new. There was really no community, there was no Facebook. So growing up, I would get, what's wrong with your face? For me, I always fell back on self-deprecating humor to make light of the situation.
So when I met Dwayne, I did not know anything about Treacher-Collins syndrome. I just knew his face looked different. And I just realized that everything that I liked about him, about his personality and his character, all of that came from his life experience growing up with Treacher-Collins syndrome. So if he didn't have Treacher-Collins syndrome, maybe he'd be like a total jerk and then I wouldn't like him. We've been married for
9 years. There you go. He married this funny face.
Yep.
In my family, I am the first case with Treacher-Collins syndrome, so there's no genetic condition before my birth.
And it's our house, and right now this picture is the room we're in.
We had Chloe, and we had her ultrasound at 20 weeks. You know, we did ask the ultrasound tech, like,
They're all over, they're all over.
does she have ears and cheekbones? And the tech is like, yeah, and fingers and toes. And we're like, no, seriously, like, does she have cheekbones? Like, can you actually look? And everything looked fine, and Chloe was fine. And then we had Ariasha. Like, I guess because we'd like been there, done that, it like wasn't even in our minds. I was just really thankful when Ariasha was diagnosed, like that she had Dwayne to look up to, and we knew, you know, we knew everything that he'd been through. She does really well, like navigating the world with hearing loss. Basically, if she's not wearing her hearing aids, I just have to talk like an angry man and she can hear me.
It's mostly purple.
For context, I have 70% hearing loss. So I have to wear a hearing aid, otherwise you're yelling at me, speaking, you know, at my face. And I try and read your lips.
I don't know if Ariasha's noticed that she's different. She's noticed that I'm different, which is concerning to her. She's been trying to sell hearing aids to me. She's like, but how are you hearing with no hearing aid? Because my ears work? She's like, what? Like, there's no way. So she's pretty convinced that her and Dada have like super hearing and the rest of us are totally missing out.
How do you feel about your hearing aids?
Good.
Good? You like them? How do you like the headband?
Good.
Good? Do you ever feel funny?
Yeah.
Do you like taking your ears off to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why's that?
Yeah. Because then I don't hear Chloe talking.
Yes, this is Ariasha's collection of headbands that I made for my daughter. And then recently, just because of the face mask issue, I've been adding little ear savers onto the headband that you can hook the face mask on. It was my idea to just try selling them and see what happened, you know. So I make custom headbands with like velvet lining, so it stays on really well, and it's also soft and comfortable. A lot of color options, so that kids can match their outfits. I think it helps kids' confidence a lot when they're able to wear a headband that they like. There we go. Looking good there, Anna.
With Ariasha getting older, Dwayne is thankful he'll be there to support her as she navigates the world looking different.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned about Ariasha being bullied, just knowing I've been bullied. It's gonna happen. That's just part of life. I think it's giving her the tools to handle bullying when it happens. There's a lot of that staring. Why do your eyes look so funny? Or what's wrong with your eyes? Why does she have those two things on her head?
Chloe is just so confident and bold, so she doesn't mind jumping in and answering questions and helping her sister. Oh, you'll get her. Get her!
I want you to be the lava monster.
The lava monster. Wow.
I'm not even going.
And I'm dizzy. Oh my gosh.
And your ear fell off.
And my ear fell off. I think it's really important for people to understand that everyone's different. I mean, this day and age, right, it is mostly just learning to tell your story. There's nothing more powerful.
The Manarang family also believe they have an inherited facial condition.
May ganun guru ba daerah sini kalau dulunya kan agak tembem gitu kan, cuman nggak kalah tembem kali kalau sekarang ya agak cekung bagian sini aja sih, itu aja. Kami bersaudara ada 6, 5 perempuan, 1 laki-laki.
Out of the 6 children in their family, 4 of them are living with an undiagnosed and incredibly rare facial condition that has caused their faces to change shape.
Pertanyaan itu selalu pasti ada, kenapa bisa berbeda sendiri. Tapi kan udah beranjak dewasa udah ngerti kalau itu kan mengikuti gen dari orang tua. Mengikuti gen dari orang tua, kalau para kakak gen ayah, kalau aku gen ibu.
Despite many suggesting that the family have been cursed, they have realised that their condition must be genetic, as their father is also affected, but their mother is not.
Abis ini kemana kita, Kak?
Tidur.
Jangan tidur lah. Tapi kita mau keluar. Keluar dong. Cari suasana baru.
The family is yet to visit a doctor for any idea about what their condition might be.
Keadaan sekarang ini nggak mengganggu sama yang namanya kesehatan atau kesehatan kami seperti biasa. Kalau mengganggu macam kami entah kecapean atau cepat itu mungkin ada kemungkinan besar diperiksa ke dokter. Kalau sekarang kan emang keadaannya tidak ada mengganggu aktivitas dan tidak ada mengganggu situ.
Adalah sayur kesukaanku, sayur bayam. Wow, kuat.
Saya
Popeye. Iya.
Due to the unusual nature of their looks, the family members who are affected have had to get used to people responding negatively to their appearance.
Kalau untuk berjalan-jalan di desa itu sebetulnya nggak ada masalah, nggak ada istilahnya ya maaf, nggak ada istilahnya atau gimana ya kalau kita bilang wih kok gitu mas, nggak ada yang hina lah gitu. Kalau tapi untuk daerah di dekat desa kita, cuman kalau misalnya kita keluar kota, di luar kota itu kan mereka memang nggak pernah jumpa sekali sama kita, pasti merekanya terkejut, itu aja sih.
Ini sih wajahku sih, karena aku tuh berbeda sama adekku. Ini adekku berbeda sih sama adekku.
kenapa sedih aku kalau mereka nggak kayak aku gitu. Biar kayak hidup normal aja gitu, tanpa ada bulian, tanpa ada hinaan, ejean dari orang-orang gitu. Karena aku merasa sedih karena mereka juga ikutan sedih gitu.
However, even though they look so different, the family are well liked in their village that they live in.
Gimana kabar, sehat kan?
Alhamdulillah. Sehat.
Abang gimana? Sehat. Kakak sehat juga kan, Kak? Pastinya kalau di dalam hati kita gitu kan ya pastinya berbeda, cuman ya gimana ya, tetap kita jalani aja, kita syukurin aja. Orang memang itu udah pemberian dari Tuhan.
Their story recently made it onto social media, where it went viral, but not everyone reacted positively to them.
Viralnya
di aplikasi TikTok.
Jadi kita itu viral bulan Juni kalau nggak salah. Jadi semenjak kita itu viral itu mereka beranggapan kalau kita itu dikasihani gitu. Karena kan kita itu cuma memanfaatkan peluang yang ada ya. Kita itu viral kan kali aja itu peluang rezeki kami untuk menaikkan derajat kami dan seperti.
Ya kalau saya pribadi tumbuh seperti ini ya, saya Nggak, kalau dulunya merasa minder sih, tapi kalau sekarang nggak ada merasa minder.
Kali aja itu peluang rezeki kami untuk menaikkan derajat kami dan seperti itu. Dan kita kan juga pastinya enak dong, banyak yang kenal dan kita juga bisa membuka diri kepada yang lain gitu, supaya memotivasi mereka juga kalau kita itu bisa sih, kita itu harus semangat memperjuangkan hidup, harus kita itu harus bersyukur gitu. Tapi mereka beranggapan kalau kita itu menjual fisik supaya dikasihani, supaya kita bisa dapat uang, berarti kita bekerja menjual fisik dong. Padahal sebenarnya kita itu dengan keviralan kita itu.
Did you like these inspiring stories? If so, please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments.